Hello and welcome to the MHG podcast. As usual, life could be a little bit miserable, life could be a little bit dark, so we're here to bring you as much light and as much joy as we possibly can. I'm your host Bradley, joined as ever by the just impressive, impeccable, and the only other word I can think of that begins with I is imbecilic, but that doesn't fit in with the rest of it, but hey, it's Stu.
Well, yeah, no, I'll take that. I will take that. I like to have a nice balance of brilliance and burr. What can we begin with a B? I'm trying to do the same thing as you. Berkishness. There you go, Berkishness. Yeah, because I can be a Berk. Yep.
Indeed. Also, is in Trapdoor.
That's right. Yeah, God, that's a deep cut. Wow.
Berk, feed me.
Yeah.
See?
That's the one.
Yeah, I don't know. Women Duros are going well. I've got nothing this week.
Yeah, no, I've been watching a couple of the games. Yeah, I quite like half support Wales, half support England because I live in Wales, but I am English. So I've been disappointed about Wales.
No, it's great for them, huge for them. A couple of goals, first time at a tournament. It's their job, their goal this tournament was to make it, was to put in a showing and open the doors for the younger generation, and they've done exactly that. And Edith's mate, Safbrid Patel, played as well, so we're happy with that.
Oh, brilliant. No, that's a really good way of looking at it. It's great that they made it, and it's great that they've shown up and been proud. So, yeah, cool.
Really, really good. I did have a list of stuff here we could go through, but apparently I've lost it, Stu. No reference to anything that's going on in the real world. Talking of not in the real world, video games, Stu. Straight to the point this week.
That was a very good segue. I'm impressed. Video games.
Yes.
Yeah.
As usual, I've been playing more than you. It's like a brag every single week. It's not a brag, it just means I've got nothing going on. It's like, what do you do? I just play my games in it. Just willy-nilly.
Just hoard all the game codes. No, I'm only kidding. I know you don't.
I do.
90% of what you play would be wasted on me.
It's only that they come through. I go, would Stu like this deck builder, city builder combo? Probably not. So,
yeah.
You can ask the question.
Yeah. Well, as I'm a complete caveman when it comes to the type of games I play, what have you been playing?
Well, I have been playing, unsurprisingly, Stu, a strategy building puzzle game featuring trains.
Yeah. Excellent.
Not a deck builder, though. You'll be pleased to know.
Wow.
I know.
That makes a change.
And there's not a deck builder in sight this week. Unless Stu's got a surprise. No.
We'll see.
I've been playing Train Valley Origins. And I've had this for a number of weeks, actually. And I've just been playing it on and off. Just because I've been caught up by other stuff and bits. And Train Valley is a series of games that is basically, can you get a train from point A to point B, sometimes via point X to pick other things up and not crash. And that's basically it's the logistical side, just purely puzzle. You lay down the tracks between stations or points, whatever you want, and you've got to get the trains to their destination without crashing into other ones. You do it either by trying to automate or by actually doing some clicks and stuff like that, when to send the trains, that sort of thing. It's a series that's kind of grown and gone different places. So to start with, it was on, I played it on Steam, and I'm not sure if it was a mobile game as well. But it was very much single screen, here's your puzzle layout, complete it. Then it got a bit bigger than that. Then it tried to do these other bits to become more of a pure city builder type thing. And that didn't work. It was kind of like quite a lot of negative feedback on it, including from myself. And then Train Valley Origins, which is the most recent one, has kind of gone back to its roots, hence the name Origins, but whilst keeping the more open side of it. And I went into the game with a little bit of trepidation. It's like, I don't know if I like the open nature of the later games. And because it was called Origins, I thought, hopefully it's just back to doing like that pure puzzle side of it. And I'm pleasantly surprised. The puzzle elements are there. And the larger worlds you have to use, the larger levels, the more open structure to it, actually works really, really well. And for me, it's an akin to if someone have added puzzle elements to, do you know, remember the old, I can't remember the name of them, but the wooden train tracks?
Yeah.
You could buy. If someone have added like puzzle elements to those, so I know you could buy like the mats and things for them, and like you've got a different mat and you turn it into a board game or something like that. It's kind of like someone's done that with it because it's very simple. You put your things down, you get different types of tracks, different like crossovers, bridges, etc., etc. You can build, rebuild. There's no punishment for any of that. The only failure state is if you have too many crashes. But it's fine. It is like just literally plopping down different like wooden bit. These are not wooden train tracks, but I'm using that as an example. Literally just sitting there, placing your wooden train tracks, having a go, and then redoing it. So you try and make it look cool or efficient or whatever. So you have to sometimes you have to leave a destination, go straight to another destination, or leave the destination to pick something up to then go to another destination. While something leaves that destination, you avoid. It just works really, really well. On the Steam Deck, it's playable. I had to really fiddle with getting controls set up for it because I played it before it was released, which was a shame because I don't know why it hasn't got controller friendly setups or anything like that. So if you're willing to put the effort in with getting decent mouse and keyboard controls built into Steam Deck, it's fine. It's just whether you're willing to put that effort in. But overall, it's a solid game. There's like 30, 40, 50 levels, something like that you can go through. And I think I'm probably like 3/4 of the way through. There's a level editor, so I'm hoping sort of like there's some good shared levels on there that you can do. And it's a decent package as well. It's just short of a tenner, and I would say that's priced about right for what you get. It's not extremely long. In fact, my review's probably longer than the game. But it's not extremely long. It's not extremely difficult. But with the level editor stuff that comes with it, there's potential for endless play if enough people get behind it. So I think priced right, plays well, taken what it was good about the original and kind of chipped away at the stuff that was poor about one of the later games. So yeah, all good. Pretty decent game if you're into that sort of thing.
Yeah, it sounds like a really solid package. I mean, what I'd always be interested in with these things, and you can't easily find out, is, how long did it take to develop and how much money did it cost? And, what are their expectations in terms of sales numbers, to justify that? Because that seems like a low, I know you said it's a fair price, but it seems like a low price for it. I suppose they're reusing their engine and their assets, are they?
To a degree, yes. I mean, the original game was like £7, and then the second one came out just short of £12. And it did have a lot more. Trade Value 2 had a lot more. So, yeah, the only one that I felt was priced poorly, and that's because I think it was a poor game, was Trade Value World. But I say, because I thought that was just really, it just wasn't very good. And it felt like a waste of money. Whereas this doesn't. I would say it's fair. You've got to look at, it's a niche audience that you're going after, because there's probably a bit too much strategy for pure puzzle fans. There's probably not enough strategy for pure strategy fans. And your people who just like trains, there's so many options out there. So you kind of want to hook those people without going, it's a massive investment. So again, I think it's priced about right, and there's enough there. It's like they probably have got, in terms of what's there engine wise, it's tweaks rather than overhauls. So they can probably save a little bit there, and their experience means maybe it hasn't taken as long to do things and that sort of thing. But I say, This kind of reminds me of this is indie pricing of 5 to 10 years ago kind of thing. And I'm pleased to see that we're still getting games come out at those give it a go price points.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. No. Okay. Oh, good. We'll hope it finds its niche then.
So what new and exciting video games have you been playing, Stu?
Well, I don't know if you can keep hold of something so fast and futuristic that it'll be whizzing by you and, oh, God, it's ahead of the curve and, oh, no, not at all. I've been playing PN03, or as I've always called it, PN03. I don't know which is right.
Demo, I'll go for.
Good, I prefer that, so that's what I'm going to say. So PN03, which is a Gamecube game, which is about 20 years old, 22 years old. Now, I bought this when it came out because I had a Gamecube. I actually had a Panasonic Q as well, but I sold that. I was never a big fan of how it looked. I know everybody loves them, but I just it didn't jive with me.
I still want one. Doesn't even need to be plugged in. I just want one.
Yeah, I feel like that about the PSX. Some consoles just jibe with you, I mean, the actual PSX, not
the
a
grey
PlayStation.
box.
Yeah, that's it. It's white with like grey sides. Yeah, it's like a big DVD player looking thing.
Oh, that thing. Oh, God, yes. That was beautiful.
Yeah, I love the look at that. Yeah. Oh, I just wasn't bothered about the...
That should be the new PS5 design.
Actually, that would work. But yeah, it's... the Panasonic Q, it just didn't click with me. Wasn't that bothered. So got my money back and more. I'll tell you what I did love. I loved the controller because you only get that grey controller with the Panasonic Q, and it was gorgeous. But anyway,
when you returned it with the purple one, you went, "Ooh, that's how it came." Don't ask me.
Yeah. Well, you've got to try it. You've got to try that anyway, haven't you? Yeah, I went through a big phase of only getting limited edition consoles. I got like one of those see-through green Xboxes and stuff.
Oh, the crystal, the green crystal one. No, crystal was the white one, weren't it? Sorry, yeah, but the green one.
Yeah. I don't know what it was called. I can't even remember.
That when the iMacs were popular. Whenever it was like see-through coloured plastic.
Yeah, which I love. I can't deny it. I do.
It's a fun aesthetic, isn't it?
It is. And I've ended up with my retro consoles, they're all my favourite versions. Well, not all because they're so expensive. Like I'd love to have. There's a PS3 Metal Gear one that I'd really like, but that costs thousands. Anyway, I think we might be drifting off the topic a little bit.
So talking of loads of bright colours, Stu, loads of bright colours just coming at you, right? Tell me about PN03.
I thought we agreed it was PN03, man. You just gone back on it straight away.
Yeah, but then you can't do a thing about it being like ferries. It's like this. It's like P&O, like staff training video, but it's the trilogy. It's the third film in the trilogy.
Yeah, that's true. Well, yes.
Tell me about the game, Stu.
I will. So it was
if you just shut up, Brad.
It was part of this Capcom 5, right? That they made a big deal about, and the reason why people still talk about the Capcom 5 is because it basically the GameCube was struggling, and it ended up struggling really, really badly, and didn't sell very well at all. It sold okay, but way less than they would have liked at Nintendo, and the N64 was a big-ish hit, but it wasn't as big as the PlayStation, obviously, and they wanted to come screaming back, and it didn't. So they announced this Capcom 5 by obviously Capcom, with Shinji Mikami as the director of all the games, or at least overseeing them.
Yeah.
And they were this game, PN03. They were Beautiful Joe, Resident Evil 4. What was the other one? Killer 7 and Dead Phoenix, which never came out. And the whole thing was these were supposed to be all different, all driving forward the fortunes of the GameCube. But unfortunately, 2 minutes after they got released, they said, well, most of these, they're all going to get ported over to the PS2. And that kind of sealed the deal, really. That was well, if there was any chance that the GameCube was going to, be as big as the PS2 or even compete, they'd gone.
Yeah.
Which, it sounds crazy that it's just based on those games, but you get a feel, don't you, about what's going to win and what's not. And if you undermine those exclusive games, you're kind of buggered. Anyway, I've played all of them. Obviously not Dead Phoenix because it doesn't exist, but I played all of them, and I played them all at a time. And I didn't really get on with Killer 7, but I'm going to retry that one. And PN03 I didn't get on with either. So not a great hit rate, but I decided to give it another try, and I've been really enjoying it. So basically it's a shoot 'em up where it's a third person where you're running around these industrial environments and you have to destroy robots that have gone a bit crazy. And it kind of feels, from that premise, a little bit like Burning Rangers. And like Burning Rangers, it's got a very odd control system that it takes a long time to get adjusted to. So it's kind of, and you can see the Shinji Mikami influence here, it's got pseudo tank controls, a bit like Resident Evil. So pushing forward always moves you forward, and pushing left and right on the left stick rotates you on the spot. So it's not like a modern control system at all. It's much more like Resi.
Yeah.
But what it does have that's different is you have you can pushing back jumps you backwards, and pressing the left and right triggers multiple times lets you do somersaults to the left and to the right. So it's very responsive like that, and you have a jump button and you have a duck button. So it's very much more like an old school arcade game than it is a modern 3D open world environmental game. It's much more, in a way, it's more static, which is strange for a game that you play in a third person 3D environment. So it's a weird mashup of these things. But what its unique feature is really is that you've got to take a lot of focus on timing. So there's a little bit of rhythm action game element to it, because you have to focus on time. You have to know when the enemies are going to shoot and when you're free to shoot back, and when you need to be ducking, diving, etc., and when you need to be flipping. There's a 180 degree turn button as well. So you're very much like about placement and about anticipation, and then about being as athletic as you can be around all of the fire, the weaponry that's being fired at you. And to that end, you fire lasers from your hand. You can't fire whilst you're moving, which is odd, but it kind of fits with the rhythm of the game. And you have special weapons as well that you have a charge bar for, that you have to collect charge for it, so you can't just spam it over and over again. And what I really like about the special moves is they're two things. One of them is that they're keyed to different types of suit, because you wear this like spacesuit type thing, and you have to buy enhanced suits which you can then power up, and that works really well. It's based on points, so the more stylish you are, this is very Shinji Mikami, the more stylish you are, the more things that you kill, and the quicker that you do it, and without being hit, the better you score, and therefore you use that as points to pay for things, to buy upgrades. And the suits that can be powered up, and you can buy new ones, and they have different abilities that you can then also power up, and that whole system works really well. So that's great. I've really, really been enjoying that. The movement works well. The not being able to shoot whilst you're moving works really, really well. That's not a problem. It's like Space Invaders in a way. It's got a very, very odd blend of, really, really old school design like Space Invaders, where it's all about positioning and, slow, kind of methodical planning of what you're doing, with the kind of later things like Devil May Cry and Vanquish and, Bayonetta and all of that sort of thing, where it's about being stylish and about movement. Very odd, strange controls. Very few people will click with them, but if you spend time with it, you can really get into it. And I have. The only criticism I have, well, there are a couple, but the main one is that you don't have iframes when you're evading. If you you're seeing something coming towards you and you press one of the buttons to move out of the way, you can still be hit by the weaponry. So you're not rewarded for you're rewarded for planning to be getting out of the way, but you're not rewarded for quick reactions for getting out of the way. And I think that would be abandoned in any kind of a sequel or a remake, because it should be. It's stupid.
Well, it makes it more realistic than Call of Duty.
Yeah, that's true. And the other thing I don't like is that sometimes enemies spawn. I don't mind them spawning behind me because you can hear it and you need to be aware of that. But sometimes they can spawn in places like directly above you, and you can't hit them. You don't auto target them, and that causes a problem. But that's a minor thing. The not being able to have iframes, invincibility frames, not being able to be invincible when you go through acrobatically is my only real concern with it. But yeah, it's really good fun. I like it so much that I've been dipping into like the trials, like the training. Are they called trials or training? Trials, I think, where you can play through these remixed levels. You can't die. You can't lose an actual life. You can just end the trial by being destroyed. But you can gain points, and they're really tough. And they're a good way of like sharpening your skills. And I've been playing them. I often find that's a really good indicator of how much you're enjoying a game if you're willing to like do the equivalent of VR missions when you're right in the middle of the storyline. Yeah. So yeah, it's really late to the game, really late to the party, but I'm really enjoying it. It's good fun.
Oh, actual hardware or emulation?
Actual hardware. So yeah, we're talking going back to like the types of console aesthetics you like. I've bought a while ago a spice coloured orange GameCube, which is my favourite one of them all. My second favourite is that it was a kind of pearlescent one, like a pearl kind of one. It was like a beigey colour. It was lovely. But those are so rare. So yeah, I got one it was only 60 quid. I actually got, you see, this is, I don't know whether I'll put a marker in so that people can skip this bit if they want, give me a bit of background. I got a GameCube, a purple PAL one for free from a friend a while back. He gave it to me because I wasn't using it, and I'd given him consoles in the past. We exchanged stuff. We're very generous with each other like that. And he gave me it, so I got that for free. I did it all up. I modded it and I sold it and made a decent, really good profit off it. So yeah, with half of the money from that, I bought a GameCube and a Spice one, and then with the remainder money, bought all the cables I needed, etc., etc., etc. So I've finally ended up with the model that I like the most. It's absolutely beautiful. So I've been playing on that. I also modded it to have what's called a flippy drive. We talked about it in the past. So I can play everything off SD card. And I modded a Bluetooth control panel into it, so you can use Bluetooth modern controls on it, which isn't desperately necessary because I love GameCube controllers. They're excellent. Yeah. But just from a logistical point of view, being able to use your Bluetooth ones is great. So so that's where we are with my GameCube. So yeah, using the original hardware and working my way through a load of the old games.
Yeah, not got a Wavebird.
No, they're great, but they cost a fortune.
Yes, they do. Surely you must be able to, not you personally, but surely it must be possible now to be able to mod an actual wired GameCube controller into a wireless GameCube controller. Surely.
You can, and there's actually a kit that 8-Bit Do. Yeah, you know those guys. Yeah, they've got a kit that you can do that, and you can just take your original controller, take the guts out of it, and replace it with a brand new one that's Bluetooth, and it's Hall effect sticks and everything. So
that sounds tempting for emulation.
Cool. I know. Yeah, I mean, the stuff they do is excellent. I'm very impressed with them.
Yeah. But because GameCube is great. It emulates really, really well. I think it's one of the better emulated systems on Dolphin. But it's horrible to play because you need the GameCube controller for most of the ones you want to play for GameCube. Most of them where you can go, I could just play this on PlayStation 2 or whatever, that's fine. But the ones you actually want the GameCube for, like playing those on a Steam Deck controller or any normal controllers, like this just doesn't feel right. It feels horrible.
Yeah, it's funny that it's a very specific thing. Yeah. It does have a very specific feel. kind of like the Wii, like the Wii did. It defined the console in a way.
Oh yeah, because say Super Mario Galaxy is awful to play handheld.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not fun. You really do need that original controller.
Yeah.
It's funny because like around that time they were still toying with what was the best format to do, and like the Dreamcast got it completely wrong, and it's a horrible controller to use, and the Gamecube got it right, but it's kind of a you still have to use it for the right games. It's not an everyman controller.
Oh, back when Nintendo just went, I know it will be different. Controllers, yeah,
totally. But it's a funny system. I really like it, and it does have a kind of typical Nintendo problem of a dearth of third-party games that you really want to play.
Yeah,
but there are some gems there. I'll be talking about them over the coming weeks.
I might speak to you at some point once I'm all settled here, because I'd love a GameCube. It was probably one of my favourites for exclusives outside the Dreamcast. We will talk away from the podcast, otherwise this will get... It's already boring, this podcast. It'll get even more boring.
I know. The boring cast.
Yes, definitely. Speak for yourself. I'm so excited.
You excite me.
I do. Anyway, moving on. You know me, Stu. I'm varied in my video games.
You are?
So I've been playing a strategy and base builder, unsurprisingly. This time, set in World War II. Ooh, excited.
Oh, cool.
No, this is called Ground of Aces, and this does something I really like. What city builders and base builders I want them to do more of. So a lot of these type of builder games kind of go, oh, how expensive can we get? And it's like, I get to a point where I just go, oh, there's too much to manage now. I start again. But what Ground of Aces does is it's set in World War II around an airbase. And everything you do is based around rebuilding this destroyed airbase in World War II. Very similar to another game set in during like World War One, but set in a field hospital called War Hospital. Nice and original title. Where it was a builder, it was like sort of like base management and stuff like that, but it was just based all around getting soldiers healthy again to get out and go and do things for the war effort whilst protecting the base, etc., that kind of thing. But it had a core focus and then worked around that. And that's what Ground of Aces does really well. So you have to take over this destroyed airbase that was being destroyed by the Luftwaffe. I don't think they actually mentioned the Luftwaffe by name. They might do. Folk nonsense and all that, I suppose. I don't know. Whatever. That's what you say now, isn't it? When talking of which, Steph Sturdy done a really good thing about YouTube censorship on certain words and how it's stupid. Go and watch that.
Oh.
It was her last broke her streak on Monday releases. 10 years of not breaking their streak, but they've got life-changing stuff going on, moves and everything, and there's not going to be a Jimquisition out this coming Monday, which is a shame. So,
all right.
But 10 years without missing a Monday, that's impressive. Well done.
Because they moved back to the UK, didn't they?
Yes, I think they're moving again. So, still in the UK, but I think there's a load of other stuff going on. So it means I just don't think it's possible for them to be able, because of the wrestling career as well. And everything. I don't think it's just like they're going to miss a couple of weeks or something before they're back to it. So, but it's a really interesting episode about use of words on YouTube and so on. Why they can get away with it and others just pander to, like, especially the right wing channels, how they pander to it's all about cancel culture, but then they pander to the advertisers and won't use words like Holocaust or suicide or murder and rape and stuff like that because it affects the bottom line. So yeah, but anyway, I don't think it mentions the Luftwaffe by name in here, but I could be wrong. But basically what you do is now we've got to start building it. So the first thing you need for your air base is you need an airstrip. So you build your airstrip. And obviously you've got limited resources. that you can use. So you can't build like this really big, impressive airstrip. You kind of got to do this basic one. Then you need somewhere to store the planes that are coming in. You need somewhere to sort of like store materials, etc., whilst also gathering those materials. It's got all the basics you'd expect in a sort of like city builder, base builder, that kind of thing. And then you can have different types of warehouses, uncovered warehouses or covered warehouses. And you'll find out why these things have become important, like the more you play. And then you have to have like barracks for like staff and everything to stay in. You need to then create more hangars, bigger hangars, covered hangars for the planes and everything. And then when you're kind of there, you then have to start setting up defences. Because it's set in World War II and you're an air base, you're susceptible to enemy attacks. So you've got to be able to defend from those enemy attacks. Now, your defences against their attack, it's kind of a bit like an RNG dice game where they'll come across and if they've got potentially a lot more power than you've got defence, they're going to do more damage. But you can mitigate that damage by having better defences and you might not get supplies destroyed if it's a covered building. All those like kind of little things are in there. And then obviously they come over, they do damage and you protect them. Then you've got to rebuild what's damaged. But at the same time, you've also got to be prepared to send out aeroplanes on missions themselves. And they go out on missions, they get you more points, reputation points, resources, etc., which you can use to improve your air base, improve your airstrip, your storage, your defences. And it's kind of like that kind of, you do this, you go and do this, you improve this, you go and do another thing, improve it again, and build up and build up and build up. It is really good, and it gives you a lot of freedom to basically play the game how you want. So it's not just here's a min-max way of doing it, and now you're done. You could go through, there's different difficulties. You could do things, and it's got a serious undertone. Obviously, it's set during World War II and all that, but it's also got some really nifty bits. So you can get inside buildings like the barracks and like maybe like briefing rooms and stuff like that. You could decorate inside. You could put like curtains and tables and chairs and record player and things like that. You can put all that inside buildings. So it becomes like a happy home Sims designer kind of thing inside as well. And it's a nice little touch. It's absolutely fine. There's plenty of different aeroplanes that you can have. I think all Allied Force ones. I might be wrong because I've not unlocked everything. So there might be some like Axis planes and stuff like that further down the line. But yeah, it's just a really, really interesting game that I'm having a lot of fun with. It's still in early access. That must be pointed out. There's different, like, there's promised there's going to be different jobs that need to be done. There's going to be like repairing planes, maybe recovering enemy planes, etc., etc. There's loads of stuff they're going to add to it. But even at this very base level, I'm having a lot of fun. My only issue, and it's early access, so, little bit of rope given here. The controls are not great. Even we've set them up on Steam Deck yourself. And what I know through these games, I struggled with this one a bit. And I was having to fight the controls somewhat to really want to continue playing this at times. So it's not one I would just pick up at the moment and go, let's have it for 20 minutes. Because it takes you enough time to get back used to how it controls. And if there's one thing I want to say to developers of all base builder, city builder type games, or management games, anything like that, and I've said it before, look at the devs behind Transport Fever 2. Look at what they did with controller-based builders, because they nailed it. You can take that as your base and build on it. As I said, though, this is early access. You don't know what the studio's budget is. Maybe that's something that will come later. But I think for me, if the controller side of it doesn't improve, that's where I might go, I don't know if I'll go back to this. If they sort that, I'm all in. I think it's absolutely brilliant. overall. Just that controller thing is the issue for me at the moment.
Wow, that's a really big stumbling block. It's such a shame. I really hope they get into that quickly and get it tweaked. Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong, mouse and keyboard, you're fine. If you're playing it on like an actual computer, blah, 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 that kind of thing. Even with the trackpad, it wasn't ideal. Proper mouse and keyboard, you're fine. But as I say, so me saying that about that's a personal preference thing. If you're somebody who plays all these strictly sat down at a computer, mouse and keyboard, you're golden. I'm not, unfortunately. So, yeah, that's a personal thing. So, if control, depending on how you play, will be what you get out of this game. I really hope they sort that because I've seen enough that I'm really, really impressed and want to play more. But if they don't sort the controls, unfortunately, I think I'll be out when it gets its full release.
Yeah, well, it's always going to be a barrier when you're trying to convert mouse and keyboard into pad. And you're never going to fully get there unless you design the game around it. But yeah, it'd be good if they could tweak it a little bit.
Yeah, or I say the hope is maybe the community profiles come good. But as of recording, there aren't any yet, unfortunately, because again, I don't think it's a big enough game at this stage where the community are going, yeah, let's get in there and get this one sorted, because it's probably aimed at proper strategy fans sat down at a computer playing it. So one day, hopefully, but we'll see. But the potential's there.
Excellent. Well, good to hear. Yeah, I've never really been able to understand how to get the... I've made a lot of profiles, but they tend to be fairly basic. There are a couple that I did that are a little bit more advanced, like, how many button presses are done and the speed at which they're done when you press them and combinations and stuff like that. But I wouldn't have the sophistication to do it for a game like that, unfortunately.
No, a lot of mine goes onto using the left trackpad as like a putting all the major options that you need onto a dial and then selecting them on the left trackpad. I think it's literally the only thing I've ever used my left trackpad for on the Steam Deck.
Yeah, I'm not sure I've ever touched it. Oh, actually, yeah, no, you do, because when you play the what's it called, Chiaki, when you play in PS5 games through it, the left trackpad acts as the touchpad for the pad, PS5 pad. Yeah, which is good, but that's about it. Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a solid game, this one. Solid game. I will revisit it when it hits its 1.0 and give an update. But yeah, just to give a price on this one, actually, because that's, again, these sort of games, it's less than 20 quid. So yeah, sound, I think if you're into that kind of thing, then it's worth it. So yeah, it's all good. A couple of good games this week, both with a couple of caveats though.
Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing there that's going to be across the board everyone's going to love. But yeah, interesting bits and pieces.
Indeed. That's it for me this week.
Yeah, I've as I say, I've got a lot going on in the background with games, and got a lot of Gamecube stuff going on, but I'm also trying to fit in a load of PC gaming, so more to come, more exciting stuff next week. But yeah,
maybe a modern game.
Possibly. Yeah, well, sometimes it happens sometimes. But yeah, until that time, so as usual, follow us on all the socials. Make sure you're checking out our content on the website. Join us on Discord if you wish to chat, and until next week, stay safe and stay sane.
Something down there.